Very good morning to all of you, my dear students. So, I welcome you all in the third lecture of the unit second of array. Okay, so as you all know, already we had finished two lectures regarding that array. So before going to start that today's session, let's recapitulate what we have done in our previous session. So if you all remember that we have done compile time array initialization, runtime array initialization, then we have advantages of an array, disadvantages of an array, and we learn what is this out of its boundary, right? So hope these all topics which we had learned in our previous session is clear to everyone. Now today we are going to start that new session in which I will teach you about that types of array. So the objective of today's lecture is types of arrays. In types of arrays, we will learn one-dimensional array, multi-dimensional array, and examples of multi-dimensional array. So students, let's start. So types of array, as if in general we can say there are basically two types or two categories of array. One is one-dimensional array and another is multi-dimensional array. Means one-dimensional array and multi means it can be two-dimensional, three-dimensional, four-dimensional or up to n-dimensional array. That's why we are saying that one is one-dimensional and second type is multi-dimensional array. Now let's start with this one-dimensional array. So here is that one-dimensional array, as you all can see in your screen, and we call it as also 1D array. This is one-dimensional array is also known as 1D array. So what is this one-dimensional or 1D array? The another name of this one-dimensional array is, you can say, it's a single dimensional array. So students, this single dimensional array is considered as the list of variables of similar data types, and each variable can be distinctly accessed by specifying its index in square preceded by the name of that array. Conceptually, you can think of a one-dimensional array as row where elements are stored one after another. As you can see in your screen, I have given one diagram in this. If your array is having size 8, so you can say one after one all the elements, all that 8 elements are stored here, like a of 0, a of 1, a of 2, a of 3 and up till a of 7. Okay, so this is what we describe that 1D or single dimensional array. Now what is this multi-dimensional array? In C programming, you can create an array of arrays. These arrays are known as multi-dimensional arrays. Means like we learn one-dimensional array. So if we are creating one array inside that one-dimensional, so means array of arrays. So similarly, in many ways you can create like 2D, 3D, 4D, 5D. So you can create up to n-dimensional arrays. So one of the simplest form of this multi-dimensional array, which we'll do in practical also, is two-dimensional array, or we call it as 2D array. Okay, so a two-dimensional array is stored in the form of the row column matrix. In mathematics, you all have learned that matrix concept. So this is what we have in 2D array or two-dimensional array, where the first index designates the row and the second index shows the column. We can also declare 3D arrays, right? So practically, as you all are that first year students, so for in your syllabus till 3D arrays there, and in lab till 2D array we will do that programs, okay? But after learning this 2D or 3D concept, you all are able to create or declare array of having n dimensional. N dimensional means your n can be vary from 1 to any number. So in this screen here you can see how that array elements are stored in memory when we are declaring our array as a 2D array, right? So it is just similar to the 1D. Just you say one term I mentioned, array of array. So you can see in your screen here A00. What zero? First zero specifies your row number and second is your column number. So suppose if you are having the 2D array of having row size is 3 and column size is 3. So how many total elements you are able to store in your elements? Just multiply this row with your column number. So what is 3 into 3 is equals to 9. So we are able to store total 9 elements, and we all know that array index always start with 0. So here A00 till A 22, we all are able to store our all 9 elements. So you can see A00 the first element, A01 second element, A02 is the third element. One more important thing here is that first we will or we will read, or we can say that elements in 2D array stored row by row, means first we will finish that row 1, then row 2 and row 3. But in programming, as not in programming but in general, as our array is started with index 0, so generally we are saying that row 0, row 1, row 2 and last row will be that what is that size of row? You declared that suppose in your particular 2D array you are mentioning that row is 4, so last array will be 4 minus 1, that is 3. So in this way we can declare that two-dimensional array. Now declaring the two-dimensional array means how we are going to declare a two-dimensional array while writing a program. So here is an example. You can see if you want to declare an array having name x and data type is float, and you want 3 rows and 4 columns, so you can write like float x within square bracket 3, and then again you have to use that square bracket for with column, and in that square bracket we are mentioning 4. So we can read it this statement as x is an 2D array having 3 rows and 4 columns. Okay, so in this screen is that memory representation of 2D arrays available, and earlier also in previous slide also I told you all. So just you can go through this, that how we are storing or we are declaring that two-dimensional array, and this is that memory representation also. So here x is a two-dimensional array. The array can hold how many elements? Just you have to multiply that row with that column. So 3 into 4 is 12. So this array can hold maximum 12 elements. And you can think the array as a table with 3 rows and each row has 4 columns. So similarly you can declare a three-dimensional array also. We called it as 3D array, and here is here the array y can hold 24 elements because we have written float y 2 4 3. So 3D means here x y z, the 3D plane we are discussing we are having that 3 dimensional in mathematics. So similarly one axis is added here. So how many elements that Y 3D array is able to store is just you multiply all 2 into 4 into 3, so it is equals to 24 elements. So in this way you can declare a 2D or a 3D array. Now initializing a multidimensional array. In previous slide just we have learned how to declare an multidimensional array. Now we are going to learn how to initialize an multidimensional array. So different ways to initialize two-dimensional array. The first is, you can see in your screen, int c 2 3, where c is that array name, 2 is that row size, and 3 is that column size. So within that curly braces we have to put again one curly braces for rows, and where we can give all that row elements separated by commas, and then second curly braces we can give all that row column elements separated by commas. So this is one initialization. In second initialization you can see, because in 2D array that elements are going to be stored row by row. Row by row means first row will end till last column. So in while declaring that two-dimensional array or initializing the two-dimensional array, you can simply write int array name, and that row size will be blank because you mentioned that column size, right? And you are initializing at the time of declaration, means that run compile time declaration. So obviously, suppose here I have given 130 in one braces and then minus 159. So automatically it is understandable that we are having 3 rows and 3 columns and 2 rows, because I have given only 2 times that values. Okay, and another way is that you know that if your array size is means your 2D array is having 2 rows and 3 columns. So you all know that how many elements this array is able to store is 3 into 2 is 6. So third way to initialize a multidimensional array is, you can specify all 6 elements separated by just commas. So how it will store in memory? Row by row, means first 3 element for first column and next 3 element will be for next column. So this is the 3 ways in which you can initialize your 2D array. So this is the 3 ways you can use accordingly which you want, and these all 3 methods are correct. Now initializing a multi-dimensional array means for example just we have learned for 2D. Now we are learning that how we are going to initialize a 3D array. So for 3D array, again this is going to be stored by row. So here you can mention that all elements of an array. So you can see that test is the name of our 3D array. 2 3 4 we have mentions. So here last till last, that is 4, we have mentioning that our all numbers. So you can see total how many elements we have to specify. 2 into 3, that is 6, and 6 into 4, that is 24, right? So this 3D array will be able to hold 24 elements. Okay, I hope it is clear now. You all are able to initialize as well as the declaration of multi-dimensional array. Now you can see that here is a simple example. The example is this. It's a 2D array which is just store that elements and just simply print that elements. So you can uh, see here that we have declared an array with the name of temperature, and that row name is city and the column name is V, and before that main you already know that what is that global variable declaration and what is that local variable declaration. So here's that city and week we have declared as a global constant variable, right? Constant means you all know means the value of this variable cannot be changed throughout that program. You are not supposed to change that value of city or week because we have declared these two variables as a constant, and as we declare these two variables before that main, so automatically these two variables is as treated as a global variable, not a local variable. Okay, so means city value is what? 2 and week value is 7. So means here we have declared a 2D array having named temperature, and the row size is 2 and the column size is 7. So automatically you are able to calculate 2 into 7, 14. So this temperature 2D array will be able to store that total 14 elements. Now in 2D dimensional array, we have to use nested for loop, one loop for row and one loop for column. And you all know that elements are stored by row. Means for one row we have to uh, go till that last column. So means nested means first loop will be for row value, and second loop, which is that nested in that row inside loop, will be for column. So for you can see in your screen, for int I is equals to 0, I is less than city. City is your row, and in this loop we have mentioned that the second loop, which is nested in this row, is for column, and we have written here for int j is equals to 0, j is less than week, and week is your column. And in this loop we have used that statement scanf, and just like 1D array, use that format specifier of your array, that is your arrays of having data type int. So format specifier for this int is %d, and we can write it as n%, that is address operator, that then array name, that is temperature, and then within that square bracket I, j, where I and j represent the row and column. So once this statement, this loop is going to execute, and we are entering that elements one by one, like 14 values we need to enter. So first value will be stored automatically at temperature 00, then temperature 01, then temperature 02, then temperature 03, till this row 1 will be finished. Then we come outside this column loop, then again that increment will be on I value, then your row number will be exceed from 0 to 1, and then again for this 1 we are completing that whole column loop. Means your next elements are going to be stored from 1 0, 1 2, 1 3, and similarly whatever that 14 values you are entering, it will be stored in that memory. So after inputting all these 14 value, we are just using that same loops, but difference is here for printing we are not using that scanf function, we are using the printf function, which is for output. So same two loops will be used here also, one for row and one for column, and we'll use that printf statement, as you all know how to use the printf statement. And in this way you can enter that 2D array by from user, at all values from user, and you can print the same. So hope this example for 2D array is clear. In this example we are not doing anything special, like any type of operations or calculation we are performing. We are just simply entering and printing that value, or simply you can say we have learned how to initialize and to any 2D array at runtime, just like we have learned in 1D array that runtime initialization. Okay, so this is that example for 2D array. Now I hope for this session you all are able to declare and initialize one-dimensional as well as two-dimensional arrays. So let's summarize what we have done in this lecture. We have learned types of arrays, and we are having one-dimensional and multi-dimensional array. Then after that we have learned a two-dimensional array, and which is able to store that all elements in the form of row column matrix. And we also learned that how to access that entire 2D array. We have to do looping against the rows and columns, right? So this is what we have done in this particular session. And students, you can follow these references for a detailed study of these session, like for 2D as well as 3D dimensional arrays. And this is my contact information. If you feel any doubt, if you are having any doubt regarding the previous as well as this current session, so you feel free to contact me. My email ID is kiran.singh@bhotiasuniversity.edu.in. And thank you all of you, and we'll meet with the next session of this unit second. Till now, bye bye, take care.